Hello, wonderful students. Let us look at this question in biology. It says figure 2.1 shows part of the food web for a coral reef. Algae and plankton are producers. All right, so they have specified that part. So you can see that this is an interlinking of all food chains into a food web. Now, part A says, using the information in figure 2.1, identify an organism that feeds at the third trophic level. A herbivore, a carnivore, an organism that is a primary consumer and a secondary consumer. So have you seen how many organisms we are identifying at part A, right? Number one. So looking at the diagram that you've been given, it's very important that you study it properly. These two are producers. They have already been stated. An organism which is a herbivore. What is a herbivore? A herbivore is an organism that actually feeds where? On vegetation. All right? An organism that feeds where? On vegetation. So here you can see that we have a plankton is a vegetation kind of, which can be fed on by the sea urchins. Then algae is also a green plant which can be fed by what? By the sea cucumbers. All right. Small fish is also feeding on algae. Small fish is also feeding on what? On plankton. Are you there? Okay. So that's what a herbivore is. So here we have sea urchins. Sorry, this is a herbivore. A herbivore, yes. We have sea urchins. Sea cucumbers. I jumped this question. An organism that feeds on the third trophic level. The third trophic level. So this is the first, second, third. First, second, third in that line. First, second, third. Yes, so third there. First, second, third. No, so just there. So that one can be a turtle. Here, sorry, a turtle. A sea urchin can be, if I follow this order. You've seen that? 1, 2, 3. Even a sea urchin can also be there. We have a starfish. Just mention any. A carnivore is an organism in the ecosystem that actually feeds on what? On flesh. Now, which ones here? A starfish is feeding on small fish, meaning small fish is what? Is flesh. Therefore, large fish is also feeding on small fish. So a large fish is also what? A carnivore. What else? A shark is feeding on a turtle. A shark is also feeding on a large fish, meaning a shark is also what? A carnivore. So we have a shark, a turtle is also feeding there. Large fish, starfish. These are the ones that we identified as carnivores. Those are that are feeding on fellow flesh organisms. An organism that is a primary consumer. A primary consumer is an organism that feeds on the producer. Are we there? So here, and at the same time, it is a secondary consumer. So at the same time, it is also a secondary consumer, meaning it is also feeding on a primary consumer. That's what it means. So if you've got the producer, then you have the primary consumer, then the secondary consumer. A secondary consumer, it feeds on the primary. Are we there, right? But it can also directly feed on the producer. And in our case, it is just a sea urchin which is feeding on the plankton first. You see? It is also feeding on this fish here. A fish is a primary consumer because it is also feeding here. So this is a primary consumer. But remember, it is also feeding on a fish which is a primary consumer, meaning it's a secondary consumer as well. That's the sea urchin. Move on. State what the arrow in figure 2.1 represent. What does the arrows, all right? What do these arrows represent in this diagram? Now, these are not just for decoration, all right? They actually represent energy transfer or energy flow, all right? They represent energy flow or transfer. Are we there, huh? That's what those arrows mean. So by moving, so energy is moving. Remember, only 10% of the total energy which was produced by the producer is transferred to the next. And 90% is lost. Now, this 90% can be lost through different processes such as photosynthesis, respiration, egestion, digestion, and so forth. Altogether, only 10% is passed on to the next trophic level. Moving on, use the information in figure 2.1. Construct a food chain containing 5 organisms. Do not draw the organisms. It's very clear instruction, all right? Now, what is a food chain? A food chain is an interlinked, all right, of organisms only, all right, that are transferring energy from one trophic level to the other. Is it making sense? So it is an interlinking of the same organisms, meaning from the producer, primary consumer, secondary up to the tertiary consumer. So they are the one which contains only 5 organisms. So let's go. Let me erase this so that we identify the one which has got. So if we start from algae, all right? If we start from algae, we can go the small fish way. After the small fish way, we can go where? We can go the starfish, and from the starfish, we can go the large fish, and from the large fish, we can go the shark. These are 5. Or we can move from starfish, or let me say plankton, yes. We can move from plankton. We go like that, we go like that, or we can move like this. Yeah, I think this is the only way, because this arrow is coming down, unless we can only go like that. So 1, yeah, 2, yeah, that's the only way we can do that. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, kana. So only this, that, and that. Or the way we moved at first with the algae. So either way, it's fine. So you can move the algae way. All right, you move the algae, then you go to the small fish. Then you go to the starfish. Then you go where? The large fish, then shark. That's all. Or, like I said, you can start from plankton, then you move like that. Now, I do these divisions on WhatsApp at a fee, very affordable. If you want to join and clear your exam nicely, join me now.